Good morning, class 12th. Welcome to economics class. Children, in the last class, we have started new chapter, that is chapter number 13. Name of the chapter is money, right, children? So today also we'll continue with the same chapter, that is money. But we'll talk about the new topics, very interesting topics of this chapter, that is functions of money. Children, before starting functions of money, let's do the revision of definition of money. Children, I told you money can be defined as commodity that is generally accepted as a medium of exchange and at the same time acts as a measure and store of value. Right? This is the famous definition given by Crowther. Children, in this definition, you find two important things. Number one, medium of exchange, and number two, measure of value. Children, today we'll be talking about functions of money, and on the basis of these 2 points, we divide the functions of money as in three categories, that is primary, secondary and contingent. Children, Professor Kinley has given several important functions of money, and Professor Kinley has divided and classified the functions of money into three basic categories, and the categories are primary, secondary and contingent, right, children? So we need to talk about all these three categories in detail. So we are talking about functions of money, and we'll be dividing and studying the functions on the basis of three categories, that is primary functions of money, then secondary functions of money, then contingent functions of money. Children, this topic is very important and you need to learn this topic in detail, right, children? So starting up with the first category, that is primary functions of money. So primary functions of money are divided into two: medium of exchange and measure of value. Children, primary functions include those functions which are fundamental and essential. These functions of money must be performed by money in every economy under all circumstances. The first primary function is medium of exchange. Children, the most important function of money is that it serves as a medium of exchange. The function of money is so important that the definition of money even emphasizes particularly on this function only. Children, money commands general purchasing power to purchase goods and services which people want. Money is generally and widely accepted as a medium through which most of the purchases and sales are made. The use of money as a common medium of exchange has facilitated exchange greatly. Children, it has removed the inconvenience and inefficiencies of barter system. It has avoided the wastage of time and resources and has eliminated the need of double coincidence of bonds involved in barter system. Thus, money has promoted efficiency in exchange, and use of money has also promoted efficiency in production by making it possible to exploit the gains from specialization and division of labor. So children, something of the value accepted by all the parties easily is money, and it includes paper currency, gold, food, oil, salt, etc. Right, children? So this was medium of exchange. Coming to the second primary function, that is measure of value. Children, one thing more, that second point, that is measure of value, is also known as unit of account. So don't get confused, right? The second important function of money is that it acts as a common measure of value. That is why it is also known as unit of account. Just as we use kilogram in measuring the weight of the commodity, similarly for measuring the value of the commodity, we take money as a unit of account. Money serves as a unit of measurement in terms of which the values of goods and services are expressed or are being measured. When we express the value of commodity in terms of money, it is known as a price. And what is price? Price is nothing but the number of money units, say rupee, for which a unit of commodity is exchanged or sold. Right, children? So this was primary function of money. Once again, you can see in the slide, number one was medium of exchange, number two is measure of value. Right, children? In short, I have explained these 2 points. In medium of exchange, money acts as a medium of exchange between the buyer and seller. Money is used to make the payment for goods and services. Goods can be sold for money, and that money can be used to purchase goods. These are the important points. Second, measure of value. Value of different goods and services can be measured in monetary terms in the same way as we can measure the weight in kilogram and distance in kilometers. Right, children? So you'll be taking examples like this only. Children, as I told you, that second point, measure of value, is also known as unit of account. So the primary functions of money are only two: medium of exchange, number one, and number two is measure of value, which is also known as unit of account. Right, children? Coming to the second category of money, which is being described by Professor Kinley. So the second category is secondary functions of money. Primary, I have already explained you. You can see this in this slide also. A medium of exchange. Money is used as a means of payment. Money is ready, purchasing power, and it facilitates the transaction. A diagram is there so that you can understand it. Right, children? Measure of value is also clear to you. The value of all goods and services is expressed in terms of money. It helps to compare value of commodities. Every country has a standard monetary system, and that is used to express and to measure the value of the commodities in terms of their currency. Suppose dollar, pound, rupee in India, etc. Right, children? Coming to the second point, that is secondary functions of money. Right, children? Secondary functions of money are of three kinds, as I have shown you in that diagram also, that secondary functions are of three kinds. Number one, standard of deferred payment. Number two, store of value. And number three, transfer of value. Right, children? You have seen this in that diagram. If you want, you can rewind this video, right? So, the first secondary function is standard of deferred payment. Children, standard of deferred means something which the payment can be made in future. Money serves as a standard of deferred payment. Acting as a standard of deferred payment means that payment to be made in future can be stated in money terms. This is just the extension of medium of exchange function of money. Here again, money is used as a medium of exchange, but this time the payment is spread over a period of time. Why? Because it is written deferred payment. Deferred means future payments, right? Thus, as soon as money is used as a medium of exchange and unit of value, it is almost inevitably used as the unit in terms of which all the future or deferred payments are expressed. Children, in modern economy, large number of transactions involve payment in future. For example, interest, rent, salary, pension, loans, insurance premium, etc. All involve such future payments expressed in money terms. The reason why they are expressed in money terms is that money has a quality of generally acceptability and it can be expressed in definite and standardized unit like loan, interest, rent, wages, etc. expressed in kind of an uncommon, but expressing these in terms of commodity is likely to be very inconvenient and indefinite. Thus, when you lend 10,000 rupees to someone for a year, you know that the definite amount you would be getting back after 1 year. But suppose if you lend a horse for a year, you may not get back the same horse of the same virtues and qualities after the year. So children, money has facilitated the payment or like when money has facilitated the payment to be made in futures easily. Right, children? So future payments are termed as deferred payments. You can see this in the slide. And deferred payments are possible only because of money. Money makes possible the credit transaction to happen. Money acts as a standard of deferred payments. Right, children? Now coming to the second secondary function, that is store of value. Children, money also serves as a store of value. That is, people can keep their wealth in the form of money. Right? So, children, as we know that under the barter system, specific commodities were stored by the people for future use. But there were many disadvantages in storing the wealth in the form of goods and services. Like the goods and services are of perishable nature, there are certain goods whose cost of storage is high, etc. Storing of the value in the form of money has solved these difficulties. It is true that there are some assets which are like bond, shares, debenture, etc. which also serves as a store of value and then they compete with the money in this regard. But money is considered to be the better storage of value, particularly in one respect. Money is perfect liquid asset. Liquid, you understand, something which can be easily converted into cash. That is, it is readily and generally accepted as a means of payment. So, holding of money means holding of general purchasing power, which can be used to purchase goods and services at any time. Money allows us to store purchasing power, which can be used at any time in the future to purchase goods and services, including other assets also. So, children, we say that money has got the power or has a reference of storing of value. Children, you can see this in the slide also. Store of value is any commodity or token that can be held and exchanged later for goods and services. The more stable the value of commodity or token, the better it can act as a store of value. And money fulfills all these features. and they move and they more useful it is as money, right children? Coming to the third secondary function, transfer of value. Yes, money also serves as a means of transfer of value. The function of the money arises from general acceptability of money as a medium of exchange. Children, you know money is easily and generally accepted. So, money helps us to transfer the value from one person to another person. For example, when you buy a pen from a shopkeeper, you are therefore ready to transfer him the value of the shopkeeper. Suppose the price of pen is rupees 20. So, you are ready to transfer the value shopkeeper by paying him rupees 20. Similarly, money is a quick and efficient means of transferring the value from one place to another. For example, you can sell your house in a Delhi in exchange of money and can use the same amount to buy a house in some other city like suppose Kolkata. So it can easily be done only and only through money. Right children? So we have discussed about two topics, that is primary functions, which included two, that is medium of exchange and measure of value. And children, we have discussed about secondary functions, which includes 3 points. The first was standard of deferred payment, second is store of value, and the third is transfer of value. Children, in this way we have discussed the primary and secondary functions of money. Now in my next video I'll be explaining you about the contingent functions of money, right? Now children, you can see again this in a slide that primary functions are two, medium of exchange and measure of value. This we have discussed. And the second is secondary function, which is marked through green, specified through green. Secondary function are three, store of value, transfer of value and standard of deferred payment. Now in my next video I'll be explaining you about that red part, that is contingent functions of money, right?